Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 412. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by the spectacular Corey Feinsod.
Pew!
And your friendly neighborhood, Tony Korkanakis.
Call me Spider Cop. Part spider, part cop.
I'm having so much deja vu. Welcome, listeners and viewers, to 412. Take two.
What are you talking about? This is the first time we recorded.
We didn't have any errors with the recording.
Time paradox.
You guys. So this is an episode that we're going to
dimensions.
dive in on a little bit of Spider-Man talk, which came out on the PS4 last week. As you guys all know, I'm sure everybody knows, it sold extremely well, right, Tony?
Yeah, at least in the UK, it's the best-selling game of the year. And some of the insiders on Era, one in particular, we don't know exactly what position, obviously, for his own protection, but he has a very good insight into the overall numbers for the industry. And he's not always perfect, but he has, I'd say, like 85% visibility on the industry.
So he's better than the Weatherman.
Yeah, but definitely better than the Weatherman. And he's like, yeah, depending on how like the next 2 weeks go, this could be the biggest, like the God of War record that came out earlier this year could be demolished already.
Right. I think it would be. It's just because Spider-Man's such a bigger franchise. It's better, well-known, more well-known, and just everything that people are saying, word of mouth. Like, God of War was popular because I think a lot of the 10s that came out, like Game Gear, like, all that stuff, like, oh, we got to try this.
Yep.
But it was still God of War, and people kind of knew what God of War was. We know what Spider-Man is, and we've seen the Spider-Man in the cinematic universe of Marvel, and just like, wow, they get this right. This could be like one of the biggest games of all time. Like,
yeah,
and that was their goal from the get-go when they remember when they first unveiled this game. Marvel was like, we want a Marvel game to mean something now, just like our movies do.
They gave gave Insomniac a pick of their character. They could have chosen anybody.
Right, exactly, any character. And I agree with everything you said, Corey. And I think another big factor is that Spider-Man is a family-friendly game. Like, this is ultimately. I mean, I would say it's more adult than some Spider-Man thing, but it's not blood. It's not gore.
Oh yeah, you could watch. You could have your 6-year-olds or whatever, 5-year-old.
So yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, I can have it on the TV. You can play it and not worry about it so much. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's just
boy.
So yeah, I mean, let's talk about this game. It is like, it's tough to put it. Like, I'm having so much fun playing this game. It's ridiculous. Just the city, like swinging through the city, gliding through the city, being Spider-Man.
I want to say, like, webbing through the city, and this is why I love like the Spider-Man 2 movie game on like GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I want to say almost therapeutic, just swing through the city, even if you don't want to do anything. It's just like,
you know what's crazy? What's crazy is IGN had a side-by-side of that old original game. It still looks pretty good, by the way. But in my head, I remember Spider-Man 2 like doing that, looking like this and playing like this, and it's amazing to think about how bad that looks compared to this. But it doesn't look that bad. Looking back at the video, they had the video up today. I'm like, okay, that actually doesn't look as bad. But the traversal was the same idea, swinging through the city, and this is more fluid, obviously, and running up walls. And but I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Spider-Man is amazing.
Spectacular.
Spectacular even.
Say.
Maybe superior. I don't know.
Not yet.
But yeah, not yet. But it's so good, like the way that they built this game, and I mean.
And you have to bring up Arkham.
Sure. I mean, I'm talking about like how I felt this should be what Arkham Knight should have been. This, honestly, and I know Corey, you don't want to get into this because we had.
No, I felt like because we had talked a little bit about this before, obviously, guys, and I think we was
segue
harping on Arkham a little too much, but you can't not talk about Arkham and
because this draws inspiration from that,
right? And it's definitely built from the same cloth as far as like what Arkham Knight was doing. It's open world, and you're traversing a city, and you're trying to be a hero. But as we mentioned,
I mentioned before, like I feel like the thing that maybe I can put it in better words. This take, I have no problems with Arkham Knight except for the Batmobile. Like, me, that destroyed that game for me. Not destroyed it, but it hurt the game massively for me in terms of what I was expecting. However, playing Spider-Man makes me realize that I really wish that they had more citizens needing assistance. And it's not like Batman is going to save those people. Like, he is going to stop a mugging, because that's what that's started his career. I mean, this is something that you can see him doing in a game, and they don't have that in that game. It's more about, they always have, criminals have taken over the city. There are no citizens there.
This city feels more alive.
Yes, that's it.
Sure.
That's the perfect way to put it.
And that's exactly what I was talking about with Mike. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Like 99% of the NPCs you're going to encounter in this game don't do anything. Like, yeah, you can do like the finger pointing, you can do high five, stuff like that. And some people will like have like, you know, comments like, "Hey, Spider-Man," or like, "Nice suit, looking good." Some people even heckle him like, "Hey, studio was safer without you," kind of thing and whatnot. But it just adds so much immersion to the environment. Because I mean, again, I said in Discord, but I'll say it here. Imagine if you were Spider-Man swinging through New York City and there wasn't any NPCs except for bad guys around. It would just feel so awkward.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, look, I love Arkham Asylum, and I really, really like Arkham City. It's just, in my opinion, just a hair below because I thought the open world just
I liked it more, but I understand your point.
Yeah, you can flip-flop them.
It's right. It's not like a big thing. But Night just took a big hit because like at this point now it's like, okay, you got to save Gotham again, but for whatever convoluted reasons now, like there's still no civilians. Like there's a handful of cops and a handful of firemen.
Well, I think you had mentioned it before, Tony, like off of this podcast, obviously. But you know, the hero factor. And it's like, do you feel like a hero, or do you feel like you're just in an action game beating up bad guys?
Right, exactly. And with Spider-Man, I feel like a hero. And I think at least in Batman, at least by Arkham Knight, I was like, this game really isn't, in my opinion, and maybe this is controversial, I don't think Arkham Knight was very much being a hero for Batman. It was more of a personal mission for him to, you know, do the whole thing with, like, you know, getting himself the cure for the Joker syndrome and taking out, you know, the Arkham Knight, right? Where it wasn't like, okay, like, well, I'm going to blow up the
For
Gotham.
a huge game that it is, it's like, the story was very introspective as far as the character went.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, with this game, like we were saying, it just looks really good.
And it looks great.
Spider-Man's like all the animations with Spider-Man are fantastic.
Yeah,
and you can like unlock tricks in the air and just do like tricks to get like XP and stuff. And
the snarkiness, the comebacks, the one-liners. I mean, they're all there. The quips are all there.
The
Spider Cop,
classic Spider-Man.
The Spider Cop sequence. I mean, there are all these really little jokes that get said as you're even like in the middle of a major combat like fight. Like he's throwing him out there, like he's doing what Spider-Man does when he gets more afraid of something, he throws him out there faster.
And no spoilers, obviously, but this I don't think is a spoiler. This game takes place after he's been Spider-Man for a while, so there is no like, oh no, I'm learning how to become Spider-Man aspect. You're just going in like right away. You're just going in. The first thing you're doing is swinging through the city. Like that's great. I don't need another origin of this.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
That was a really nice thing they did there.
Yeah.
We talked about go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, no spoiler, but there are a lot of points in the game where you have to, you know, save civilians, and a lot of it's like quick time event, you know, bullcrap. But it just, again, it's one of those things that in most games I would be like, oh, this is boring or tedious or just, you know, flowing, like interrupting the flow. But as Spider-Man, when you're like running through a building that's like burning or exploding, and you have to like move rubble out of the way for civilians, and then you have to like, you know, web somebody or whatever. Like that adds to the hero factor. So like in this, I don't mind it. And the other thing I would want to say real quick that I think sets this apart from, you know, Arkham games, and not to harp on it, but like the characters in Spider-Man, the supporting characters, I think are just more genuine or realistic, or at least positive. Because Batman's been the loner or whatever. He's pushed away all his, you know, sidekicks and partners and stuff like that. But I love Peter Parker because he has to deal with these people like day in, day out. Some of them know his secret identity. You know, others are completely in the dark still. And it's interesting seeing him juggle that rather than just like a call be like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'll handle it, or like whatever.
Well, that's the thing we're talking about. Like, we're talking about juggling and being Spider-Man, and that's kind of this character, and it's in this game massively. And even like for when you're playing as him and there's a crime happening and you're in the middle of trying to go and save the world, but there's a mugging happening or police chase, and you're like, I can do this real quick. I can do this. And then you swing over there to do that and then get back on course. It's exactly what you expect Spider-Man to go through when he's swinging through the city trying to stop, you know, whatever he's trying to stop, you know, Venom or Doc Ock or whoever he's up against that week in the comic books. You know, so you like, it's just what you expect, and it's in this game, and it has that feeling. You know, I mentioned the fact that like even like just swinging through the city and how you can throw yourself into the character, running up the walls. When you jump, you kind of get that lift. Like it's like I don't know. I just get so into it. When I'm playing it, I'm like, I kind of feel myself kind of jumping with him, you know.
Like we're saying, like the swinging, they needed to nail that, and I feel like they did it in spades.
Yeah, perfect.
So many options, and I mentioned like when Mike was asking on Discord, like how's it, like have you gotten to play it? And I said there's so much like unravel as far as like the swinging and the combat, because there's so much there that you're just touching the surface. I feel like as far as what the options are you can do, like we were saying before, you can swing and kick people, and you can dodge, and you can shoot your webs. Like you get different types of webs later on you can use that like affect the way that combat's gonna flow. And then just the swinging, like you're saying, there's no like stopping and getting stuck on stuff. You're always moving, and you can just like shoot across like the city super fast if you wanted to. So it's just like a lot of fun doing all that and kind of figuring it out and learning the way of like it works and stuff.
And the thing
was
is,
a lot of fun.
With the combat, I feel like Spider-Man is more suitable for that style where it's just like weaving in and out, dodging, flipping over people, jumping in the air, webbing around. Like, it's just so fun, satisfying. Like, I love being able to like launch a dude in the air, you know, follow him up, do a couple combos, Marvel vs. Capcom style. And then my favorite part is like while you're in the air, I upgraded the part where you can hold triangle and you just like instantly pull somebody else up into the air and you could do another air combo. And it's just like, and I'm pretty sure I even heard an enemy NPC be like, "Hey, that's not fair!" Like, you know, for being in there. I'm like, I'm Spider-Man. I'm not fair to begin with. Joke, like, he like screw acts. But yeah, it's just so fun. And like the one cool feature, and maybe you guys have or haven't noticed, but like I love when you dodge near a wall and then attack. How he just does like
he runs up
wall bounce, wall bounce and like strike. It's just so satisfying because that is something again. Spider-Man would be doing, like using his
and
agility.
Combat feels like it's just flowing like so graceful. Like you're just going from one thing to the next thing, and like you have a combo meter, and it's like just keeps going up and up and up and up, and it's like, yeah, I'm still going. Let's see how high we can get this thing.
Yeah, and for some reason, it just clicks with me a little bit more because I'm not knocking the Arkham comic because obviously that was responsible for like 99% of Spider-Man, but I got in one of the compound missions, I got my combo meter over like 100. I'm like, holy crap, like this is amazing. Like it got to the point where I just ran out of dudes. I was like, oh, like kind of wanted to see how high I can go and stuff. But yeah, it's so satisfying playing as Spider-Man in all aspects. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about this so far. It's just like it's so much fun to play it, and you know, it's like I talk about like movies with Iron Man and Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight, and you know, talk about those two movies all the time and how the Dark Knight's probably it's a better movie than Iron Man, but I'll watch Iron Man way more. And it's coming up like that this year where it's like this game is so much fun, and I'm gonna do like everything I can do in this game. Like I can feel it already. I'm going because I'm getting pulled aside to everything right now, and I want to just get into everything. Take pictures. You can take pictures. You can just swing through and take pictures in the city. But like Red Dead Redemption, I don't know if I'll do everything in that game. I'm not saying I'm not gonna love that game, but I'm just saying that I don't know.
Even with God of War, like there's a lot of things to do on the map. There was stuff popping up all over the map. But it's like, I don't have a drive to go over there.
I just got what I wanted out of that game. It was good, very good, but it's not. You know, it's not like that's a negative in the game, and it would be. It is up for my game of the year. Definitely, you have to consider it. But you know, it's a very hard thing to talk about. Like, you know, because it's like, oh, okay, if I platinum Spider-Man, it's like, does that instantly make it game of the year? I don't think so. But it's interesting to talk about because like I've obviously then spent the most time on it. So
yeah, I would say that because like I mean, for me, you know, I like God of War, I really do. But Spider-Man just has me grinning from ear to ear most of the time when I'm playing. So much fun.
Because, like, I can't talk about that enough, how much fun it is.
Yeah. So, fortunately, Mike, not on this podcast due to other obligations. So, it's good because he hasn't been able to get it until tomorrow. By the time you guys listen to it, it'll be the day of. But it's his birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah,
happy birthday, Mike. Even though you probably won't listen to this podcast to hear that. But, just in case you ever do, happy birthday, buddy.
We got to play Spider-Man first. Yes. But we're going to have a spoiler cast, too.
We will do a spoiler cast because we're all playing this game. So
this is one of those rare...
It's like we're still fairly early. I don't think any of us are...
No, you're... I'm probably right around you, Corey, and Tony, I'm not sure where you're at, but I'm probably right around you, actually, in terms of...
I hit level 20.
Okay, you're I'm like, I think I'm level 12. So
okay. But the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I kind of I forget what I did, but like I got the one thing that like increases your XP.
I just got
for
that.
beating minions. I'm just like, well, like if I get this early in the game, it's just gonna pay off. So I don't know. Like I feel
saw
like
that and I'm like,
I might be stronger than I should be because I'm just like, okay, like whatever, I just roll with it.
Yeah. So
you're Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game. We'll do a spoiler cast on this, I promise. I'm sure we'll talk more about it next week even. So, All right, let's get into some gaming news, and then we'll do our topic of the night, which is going to be other superhero games we want to see being made now that we have this hit. So, the quick news here: we have Nintendo Switch getting a special Pokemon Eevee and Pikachu Special Edition of its Switch console. That's coming out this year, and I saw Matt Piscatella.
Comes with the game.
Comes with the digital copy of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, so the cool thing about this, I didn't even need to see this until I watched the video, but so the dock itself has like Pikachu and Eevee on it, but the actual Switch unit on the back has like silhouettes of both of the characters. So it actually is, I believe, the first Switch console that it has actually like changed. Because up until now, everything has just come with either
different Joy-Cons,
like a different stock, or the
right.
Joy-Cons, and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Not for me.
No, it's not for me either, but you got to figure anybody holding out for Pokemon, this is going to sell like hotcakes. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I feel like this Pokemon, like, I think a lot of people are going to be, like, not disappointed, but just be like, wait, this is Pokemon? Like, what am I getting? I don't think a lot of people know that this is not necessarily...
They don't realize it's going to be
I mean, I would agree with that, but
I still think it's probably going to be the best-selling game this year.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of the best-selling games for sure. It's just... I think this is more for the audience that may have been drawn in via Pokemon Go rather than like traditional.
I think Corey's. I understand what Corey's saying.
I think there's a lot of confusion.
There will be confusion with that.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
for sure.
I don't know. We'll see. There's a Nintendo Direct possibly this Thursday. It had to get delayed due to the tsunami,
earthquake.
Well, it was a 1-2 punch of a hurricane and then the earthquake.
Okay,
so it was unfortunate. It was supposed to be last Thursday, and they delayed it. Due to a lot of it probably has to come to like respect because like it was literally the day of the earthquake, or hours after the earthquake. So, but there are some insiders that are speculating that there's a game reveal announcement or trailer that pertains to something that can be seen as like maybe not kosher to do like right after like the day of and stuff like that. So I mean. There was a game on the Wii called Disaster Day of Crisis or something like that, where it was like literally like this action hero person like trying to save people in a city that was undergoing a natural disaster.
Okay.
So there could have been like a HD remaster of that. Shin Megami Tensei 5, which was shown off last year. That's always in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo, so that's my personal guess that we're going to see more of that game.
That makes more sense.
Reveal.
I think that makes more sense.
So.
All right. Well, we'll see maybe this Thursday.
But a lot of things did leak because this is the first time I'm pretty sure that a Direct has ever had to been delayed to this degree. I think maybe before they've done it like by 1 day.
Okay, yeah.
So some of the announcements that came out, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles HD Remastered is coming to Switch and PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition is coming out on PlayStation 4 and Switch. There's some Namco games.
It's actually the full game. You're not playing it off the cloud or anything like that.
Yep, the Pocket Edition.
Yeah.
Yep. Now the Pocket Edition.
You should be able to.
Right, it looks completely.
It's the mobile.
It's the
mobile game, but it's actually the actual game. It's just they look like chibi characters instead of.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's been a couple other smaller things, but those are like the big things.
Sure.
And somebody's even teasing that there's going to be another Final Fantasy related thing. Somebody even. Right. We're on the road to TGS now, so a lot of these companies are trying to get their stuff out of the way. So supposedly it's going to be revealed tomorrow, which would be for listeners Wednesday 10 a.m. They'll announce it for Thursday again at 6 p.m. or whatever like that.
Okay.
So
all right.
Cool. Be interesting.
All right. Other news: we have more teams being added to Overwatch League. 6 new teams were announced for the next season.
There's 20 teams total now, so
yeah.
8. Isn't it 8 teams?
Yeah, I think it was 8. There was 12 before, right? 12.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 in China, Toronto. You have
Atlanta, Paris. I don't remember the other ones.
They added a DC team.
Washington. So yeah, I mean, we're at 7 just now.
Vancouver.
There you go, Vancouver.
Yep. So
there's eight new teams.
8 new teams.
2 teams.
Yes. So yeah, I mean that's going to be a much bigger league, much more competition, right? Or more spread of people, or more people.
Yeah, well, I mean, just from the team perspective, I mean, it's going to be more talent in the pool because 20 teams times however many they can have on the roster.
I don't know what the max roster is, but I know they've had some teams have had 12 to 15 members.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting, and obviously it's doing well. I think they even said it did better than they ever expected it to, especially in the first year. So,
sure.
I think they were saying they would be happy with 100,000 viewers on Twitch or whatever, and they were doubling that.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm excited for that. I actually haven't played that much Overwatch, but I really enjoy watching it. So I'm excited for that. It was interesting. The Chinese team, the Shanghai Dragons, they let go of everyone except for their 3 best players.
Yeah.
So Gaguri's still on there. So
it's unfortunate, but when you go 0-40, it's kind of somebody was even like, man, the Shanghai team is gonna have all fresh people and stuff like that. I'm like, you realize they literally can't do worse than last year, right? They literally cannot do worse than last year. So getting fresh people is probably the best move here because just for whatever reason it was not working.
Take a mulligan.
Yep, take a mulligan.
So,
and I would, I hope, it's a
historic season.
Yes.
I hope, in my heart of hearts, even though I'm a Fusion fan, I hope that Shanghai comes out this year swinging and is a top tier team.
Really?
Because yeah, I mean, I like underdog stories to begin with, and I think everybody unfortunately shits on them. But I like Aguri, for only female Overwatch.
You might have another female here now.
Yeah, and hopefully we do. I hope we do. But a funny quick story from the other day. I was playing a couple games of Overwatch to get some diva things for the event. Never wound up doing it because I don't know, for whatever reason, queue times are higher than I anticipated. But I was trying to communicate and coordinate with some team members, and we had this guy that just would not get off a Bastion. And it was escort the payload, but we had gotten past the point where people usually switch off of Bastion. So I was like, dude, no offense, but why are you still on Bastion, man? We don't have a shield tank, we don't have a Reinhardt or a Risa. You need to switch. He's like, you have a fucking Shanghai Dragon skin on right now. I don't hear shit. I'm like, that has nothing to do with my ability to play this game right now. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. It's going to be an interesting season next year for season 2.
Yeah, it's sad that it's going to take so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Gotta wait till December.
Yeah.
All right. I think that brings us into our topic of the night. What other superhero games we'd like to see now that we have Spider-Man being a hit? We've had Batman that was very successful in its games. So
the Arkham games. Yeah.
Wait, did we already do what we've been up to?
Well, we kind of did with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
You want more? Oh, okay. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
So over the weekend, I went to a small local anime convention in Pennsylvania called ColossalCon East. They have a West one, obviously, and it's run at the Kalahari Resorts. I don't know where the West one is, but the East one is up in the Poconos. It's an indoor water park. So it's kind of like end of summer, last hurrah kind of thing for going to a water park. A lot of cosplayers do swimsuit cosplay and whatnot and whatever. It's a fun time. But anyway, I spent some time in the game room because, like I said, it's a small local con, so you don't have huge crowds at these games. So I played a bunch of these ridiculous Japanese dancing games and whatnot like that. So I played one that I think it was called Dance Dance Evolution, and I think that's the DDR with the Kinect camera.
Ah.
And that was actually kind of fun. I don't know how accurate it was, but it was actually really fun. Because you have to imitate the poses that the characters are going to do on the screen and whatnot. And there was this other one where you have this circular screen and there's buttons all along the side. So what happens is from the center, these symbols come out and you either have to tap it at the edge of the circle or you hit the button. You can hit the button too. But you have to do these things where it's maybe 2 come out at the same time and you have to hit both, because it'll be here and here or here and here. There'll be other ones where you have to tap and hold or hold one and then tap and stuff like that. So that was really fun. But I got to play some fighting games because that's more my forte there. So a little while back, I mentioned the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle or whatever game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was interested in that. So I was like, oh, I haven't played that since, PAX East demo or whatever like that. So I was like, oh, I'll sit down. So I was waiting for these guys to, play a couple matches. And this one dude comes up before, I could get in. Comes up, pulls out his backpack, and pulls out an arcade stick. I'm just like,
what?
Mind you, this con has legit setup. They actually have arcade, setups.
Sure.
And it's not like me and you standing side by side. It's legit, Japanese style where, it's 2 arcade units with 2 monitors, and each have their own joystick, and you have, a seat. So it's Japanese style, full legit. I was like, so this dude, even he had his own screen, his own, built-in joystick to this arcade unit, brought his own, arcade stick. I was like,
huh.
Okay. And again, it's legit because, they have USB ports. You could use to plug your controller or whatever in it. So I'm like, okay. And the guy that I was watching first, that was there first, was playing with his friends, and you could just tell, he's that type, he's the one out of his friend group that plays this game, so he's just, better than all of them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I'm watching this guy play this other guy with his arcade stick, and his arcade stick just, beats him. Beats him pretty soundly. Nothing ridiculous, but, he beats him soundly. And I was like, oh, okay. And he plays a couple matches, good games and stuff like that. So I sit down, and I'm like, hey.
Never played this.
I
only played it
once. So please, just, go easy on me, man. Whatever. He's like, ha. And then we play a match, and he just, near infants me. I'm just like,
why
okay,
is he there?
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if, you're just doing this to, make a power play, but, I'll do a rematch on this. And does it again. I was like, bro, I literally told you I haven't played this game past the demo. There's no need for this. You could probably use one character against both. He obviously did. He used one character against both of mine and just won. But I'm just really, dude. So I was like, all right, man, good games. Just be respectful and stuff like that. So then I felt kind of upset because I was like, man, that doesn't feel good. So I went over to the Smash unit. And then I started running the table there, but it was just fun because at the convention, just having the nature of people in and out and just you don't really know each other if you're playing video games and stuff. But
it brings you back to the arcade days.
Yeah, exactly.
Quarters and stuff.
That was just a good time. Figured I'd mention that because it was kind of a fun story.
Sure.
Definitely.
All right, let's get into our topic. Other superhero games we want to see as games now. What other superheroes? X-Men? Oh, you want another return to the X-Men world, huh?
Yep. I would love to see. I'm trying to think of
the team or a specific.
I think it would be cool if you had missions, not.
So are you talking about X-Men Apocalypse? That was the game before Ultimate Alliance, that style game, or you want something more in the vein of Spider-Man?
Something in between. So in my head, ideally, I would like to see a mission structure where you have there's an end goal, I don't know, defeat the boss or beat this level within a certain time frame or whatever, and you have all these characters and you can only select a couple of them for the mission, whatever bullshit reason games come up with, and you have to use those powers to traverse it. If you have somebody like Nightcrawler, he can get past I don't know, gates and whatnot, But if you don't have him, you got to go find the key and beat up the guards or, something stupid. Sure. There's just, multiple ways to tackle, a level or something like that. And I would love to be able to select, take a group, and then you can, on the fly, switch between them and stuff like that. I think it's probably a little too complicated, but in my dream instance, that's what it'd be. Because, I kind of like the X-Men as a team, and I don't think any game has really approached it other than, what is it, X-Men...
Rise of Apocalypse or something like that. Yeah.
Well, there's
there was a Wolverine game that was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's in solo. Yeah. I fucking hate Wolverine. So.
I was thinking I know that they've done this. Actually, I think that this well before was in another Hulk game. But more
Destruction.
What's that?
Yeah, that Ultimate Destruction or something like that.
There was a Hulk game I thought that came out, an Incredible Hulk or something like that. That was actually pretty good.
Destruction.
But I would like to see. Oh, was
the
that
one that
was it? Okay, that was it. Okay, I don't remember the subtitle.
Company went on to do that weird game with the guy with the hoodie, and then.
I would like to see something with now that we have the established Hulk can kind of Brett Bannon and him can kind of transition. I could see them doing a game that's more based on using both roles as your own choice of how you want to deal with things in terms of how you want to play it.
You guys have good ideas, but I mean, we've seen X-Men and we've seen Hulk.
Okay.
I want to see a Guardians of the Galaxy RPG in the vein of Mass Effect with a little more humor to it, where you get to travel the galaxy fighting aliens.
I think all right, that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
As the Guardians.
Okay, I like that idea.
That'd be. I mean, that scratched the itch for the sci-fi exploration RPG.
You can do recruitment stuff to get like Rocket and Groot on your team, and Gamora and Drax if you wanted.
Yeah, if you wanted. If you get signed up.
I mean, you can even get the old Guardians in there too. So
yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea actually. I like that idea.
I just want some sci-fi.
Yeah, there's no sci-fi out there. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else like hero-wise. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot they could do even with like Captain America. Like looking at what they've done with Spider-Man here, you could do a Captain America game, kind of similar with not like traversal. Obviously, is a little different, but he has like he can run super fast. I mean, super speed. I mean, he can run through a city pretty well. I'm not saying he can leap tall buildings in a single bound, but I'm saying that he could. He does have super strength. He's not bulletproof as far as I know.
Yeah. Now, in the vein of like the Spider-Man open world, like 3D or third-person action, I think an Iron Man game would be cool. If
that's not a bad idea too. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of something that was different than
all the suits you could throw into loot boxes.
There you go. Oh gosh, yeah.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. What about unknown characters, like some minor characters from Marvel that they haven't done anything? Not minor, but like Moon Knight or some characters they haven't touched.
Yeah, if they want to rip off of Batman more, they'll just do Moon Knight. I'm trying to think.
Hey, Iron Fist. How about that, guys?
Oh, by the way, I didn't mention.
Yeah, martial arts game. That'd be cool.
I heard very good things about this season of Iron Fist.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm more interested in that. Like I said, more curious about that than either Jessica Jones or Luke Cage.
I think I'm watching Iron Fist first. By the way, yeah, I think we're gonna do that. But anyways, yes, we're talking about gaming. Games and other superhero games.
The thing is, we know Rocksteady's making something, right?
Sure, but they're going to stick with DC. They're going DC,
right? So I mean, personally, I would not necessarily care for a Justice League game so much, but it'd be interesting to see what they do with those characters. Like for me, out of the Justice League, what I think would be most interesting in a video game form would be like the Green Lantern Corps. And again, space. I don't know. I guess I'm in the space thing here.
I still would like to see.
I want to see some space stuff going on, because the Darkest Night stuff was Blackest Night series was really good for Green Lantern, and getting all those different Green Lantern Corps and different groups. That'd be interesting to see them.
But see, I think that I know we always talk about the Flash. Being overpowered in terms of how you can just win. But I think if you think about the Batman system with the combat and the dodging and stuff, you could integrate that with the Flash. And obviously, if you're not good enough to dodge there, you get hit. So it's basically the similar idea. You could use that combat system with Flash.
I think the Flash has the problem similar to Superman, though, where like realistically, like it's so hard to make it believable that these characters could actually be defeated in a video game.
Do you think they're actually trying to tackle Superman, by the way? Just Rocksteady?
I think they tried.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the rumor was they were trying for a Justice League game. And I think they even teased it in Arkham Knight. Obviously, whatever happened, and we haven't heard shit from them
now it's something different,
since Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
So I think they tried it, but, I mean, I think they tried it and it either didn't work, or at least in some part, like the Man of Steel just not being too popular. Like, it's just like, again, it's one of those things where, like, Superman is iconic, yes, but is he still popular? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, going with DC is very tough to do because their heroes are overpowered on certain times. I mean, like there's certain points where you just don't see them meshing with having just regular people to fight in their games.
Right, exactly.
So it's like Spider-Man here, you have thugs, and if you have enough thugs, you could beat up Spider-Man. So you have that vulnerability, whereas Superman doesn't seem to. You get a punch from a thug, you're like,
yep,
okay.
Now, on the flip side, what I think would be cool is a game in the vein of GoldenEye: Perfect Dark with Black Widow.
Oh, interesting.
Secret agent,
that's
kind of
cool
like espionage.
Idea.
I think that would be
thinking about
really cool.
shooters, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
I'm thinking about like third-person action games, but yeah, you're going like shooters would be kind of cool with that. Yeah, you could do something. Yeah, I mean, there's
Wasn't that Perfect Dark though?
No, but he's also you can mix Perfect Dark.
No, I'm saying, but yeah, get
Perfect Dark with what's the mirror?
But
what's the mirror game?
It wasn't Black Widow though. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's just like what we're talking about. Like, this is the game that Perfect Dark should have been.
Right.
What's I'm thinking? Like, if you mix Perfect Dark with what's the mirror game from EA?
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge. You mix that parkour mixed in with the first person. I think that would be really cool for a Black Widow game.
No, definitely. That's a great character.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I think I haven't even thought about that. That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just do that, like, too, I was just thinking about this now. It's like maybe you do, instead of the Iron Man, like Spider-Man, third person, maybe you take a cue out of Metroid Prime and make Iron Man a first person action game.
Yeah,
where you have the visor interface and stuff like that, and like you're just like shooting repulsor cannons as your gun and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I really think. I mean, we'll see what they're going to follow up. Do you think Insomniac does like Spider-Man 2 right away, gets to work on that, or do you think they do something else?
I think this game is going to do well enough that this studio is going to finally be able to expand even more, and they'll be able to work on this like a sequel and something else at the same time.
All right.
I mean, this is just.
Yeah, I mean, they're open to other Marvel characters, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that this game is definitely propel them to do much more. And there's definitely going to be a Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I knew that. Just like, do they work on like adding? Do they try to do another superhero game in between, or But you're probably right. So I don't know. Any other superhero games?
Trying to think.
I mean, Daredevil, but that's very similar to what you have with Spider-Man, I believe. Wouldn't that be very similar?
Yeah, Daredevil could be cool. Depending on, I think with that, you'd have to like find some way to make the blindness gimmicky, where like you're working off like sound, echolocation, that kind of.
I think you wouldn't want to be in that mode the whole time.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true.
Trying to think of who else. Like like you said, I think a Iron Fist martial arts based game could be cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Champions are pretty fun. They could make a fun game with them. Marvel Champions characters.
Yeah.
Base game, but
yeah.
For me, it's definitely. I think Guardians is what the next game I really want. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that was a good idea. I think that I would agree with you. I think that would be the game that I would like to see next.
And that's now that I'm thinking about it, like that's kind of like what I would like say with my X-Men pitch, where it's like you have like a squad, that you select for your missions, and in addition, you can travel across the world, whatever, doing the missions. But also you can do like the RPG aspect where like you build relationships between the characters and go on like what do they call them? When it was like just you helping one person to build like the team.
Right, their trust. Oh, that aspect 2's thing. Yeah.
What was it
called?
Squad.
Dossier.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. I don't know what they were called, but they had their specific character missions that they went on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they have their special. Like obviously they all have. They're specializing in certain things. Drax can stand still and be invisible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Something like that where you can formulate a team. That's the aspect like and
juggle
RPG
like who do you want to bring on this mission? Like you're saying with Nightcrawler ideas, like do you want to have a brute coming on along, or do you want to be more stealthy and have like more or something?
Exactly, and I think it would be cool too. Is like if it took something like not like Xenoblade does, but this is the one that like just stuck out my mind because it did recently. Like you could send like your B team or your other members on like another mission. And it could be like RPG stats where it's like, hey, this mission is requiring like you said, like a brute, a speedball, a bruiser, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, all right, Wolverine, Colossus, and Quicksilver or something like that.
Yeah.
And, like hope that their stats and whatnot and gear is appropriate and stuff like that. But that's just me because like, for me, my childhood was Batman and X-Men. So we've gotten great Batman games. I want to see like
a really cool.
Like a game that elevates X-Men to like, wow, this game, like this is something that could only be done in game format and not like shown to you like a movie or TV show.
I mean, you wouldn't want to see them retry the Ultimate Alliance formula where they.
No, I would love that too, but I think at this point you have to do like all of Marvel Universe, and it's just like I think when you do that, you lose a lot of that like intimacy, where it's like, hey, like character relationships, RPG stuff, where it's just like. You insert any character.
On X-Men characters too.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could
So
have like 20 X-Men characters. You wouldn't even like. That's still nothing.
Yeah. And I mean they did that too with that Marvel game, which I actually got to play, and now unfortunately that game is dead because the owner was fucking weirdo.
I did get to play a little bit of it.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry.
I mean, it was on PS4, so.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just on. Mike's. Oh, I wish they would make this thing, and I'm like, but they do.
Yeah.
I wish they would make Goldeneye, but they did.
Yeah. I don't know. So, all right. I think that's going to wrap up 412 of the Gamecast. So tune in next week for us to talk more about Spider-Man, I'm sure. Maybe we'll get some Mike impressions if he's done with Witcher.
I'm sure we will.
Oh, he's not going to stop. He's not going to not play Spider-Man and
Good.
play Witcher.
Good. I hope so. So tune in next week for that. We have a spoiler cast definitely coming up for this game. We'll probably be. Some of us will be done with this, I would assume. This is a game where I almost thought about calling out this morning so much, and then I thought about maybe I could just bring my PS4 into work, and that's really what I was playing with this morning. But anyways, so we'll find out next week, see how far we get. Thanks for listening. Write us podcast at allycangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allycangeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tune in next week to the movie cast and the game cast. Excelsior.
Excelsior.